The first noise complaint arrived 3 days after I moved in. It was slid under my door sometime between midnight and morning, printed on crisp white paper with a letterhead that looked vaguely official but didn't belong to any organization I recognized. No logo, no address, just a neatly aligned title: Notice of Disturbance. Below that, in polite, evenly spaced font, it read, "Your neighbor has complained about excessive noise recorded on your premises between the hours of 1:14 a.m. and 1:46 a.m. Please be advised that quiet hours are enforced from 12 a.m. to 6 a.m. Continued disturbances may result in corrective action. Thank you for your cooperation." There was a signature at the bottom, just a name: A.R. Calder. I stood in my kitchen, rereading it, coffee going cold in my hand. I live alone. I hadn't had company. I hadn't played music. I hadn't done anything louder than pace. At first, I assumed it was a mistake. Thin walls, a neighbor crying, someone's television bleeding through the vents. Apartment buildings are good at misplacing blame. I crumpled the notice and tossed it. That night, I tried to be mindful. I cooked quietly. I brushed my teeth without humming. I kept the television low and went to bed early. In the morning, there was another notice. This one was more specific. Recorded disturbance, suppressed vocalization, elevated respiration, irregular heart rhythm. Duration: 2:01 a.m. to 2:17 a.m. I checked the hallway camera footage from my doorbell app. Nothing unusual. No one outside. No one lingering. The neighbor in 3B kept his door closed. I'd only seen him once in passing. Tall, neatly dressed, polite to the point of stiffness. He'd smiled when I nodded. I decided to speak to him. I knocked that afternoon. He answered immediately, as if he'd been waiting. Up close, there was something off about him. His clothes fit too well. His posture was perfect. His smile looked practiced, like it had been rehearsed in a mirror. "Yes," he said. "Hi, I'm your neighbor, from 3A. "I know," he replied pleasantly. I held up the notice. "I think there's been some confusion about noise complaints." "No confusion," he said, "but thank you for addressing it proactively." My mouth went dry. "You filed this?" "Yes." "For what?" He glanced at the paper as if checking notes. "Crying, pacing, existential distress." I laughed once, sharply. "You can't file a noise complaint for someone feeling things." His smile softened. "You'd be surprised what qualifies." I tried to argue. I really did. About walls, about privacy, about the fact that grief isn't a volume knob. He listened patiently. When I finished, he nodded. Quiet hours exist for a reason. Order requires consistency. Then he closed the door. The complaints escalated after that. They arrived daily, sometimes twice. They cited timestamps down to the second. They referenced dreams, thoughts, panic spikes. Unregulated emotional output became a recurring phrase. Once I received a warning for anticipatory dread. I started to feel watched, not through peepholes or cameras, but in a deeper way, like something was listening to the shape of my thoughts. Sleep became impossible. I learned which emotions were louder than others. Fear was loud. Grief was loud. Anger was catastrophic. Numbness, however, went unnoticed. I tried filing a complaint of my own. The building manager never responded. Emails bounced back. The leasing office phone rang endlessly. One night, after a particularly bad panic attack, there was a knock on my door. I opened it to find Calder standing there, holding a clipboard. "I'm afraid this constitutes a violation," he said gently. "What? This is ridiculous." "Corrective guidance," he replied. "I'm here to help you comply." "Hell has quiet hours," he said, making a note. "Most people resist at first." "Wait, what?" "Hell has quiet hours," he repeated. "Hell?" He looked genuinely confused. "Yes, hell." After that, I tried to follow the rules. I stopped crying at night. If I felt it coming, I sat very still and breathed shallowly until it passed. I scheduled my breakdowns for approved hours, noon to 2 mostly, sometimes early evening when noise allowances were more forgiving. I learned to feel sadness without expression, fear without reaction. The complaints slowed, then stopped. Calder smiled when we passed in the hallway. "You're doing very well," he told me once. I wanted to scream. Instead, I nodded. It's been months now. The building is very quiet. People still live here. They cook, they work, they sleep. No one laughs loudly anymore. No one cries after midnight. Sometimes, late at night, I sit in my apartment and feel the pressure building behind my eyes. Everything I've learned to suppress, pressing for release. I don't let it. Compliance is easier, and silence is safer. Hell, apparently, runs on paperwork.